When it comes to politics, power, governance, leadership, in most cases, you will never receive praises from those challenging you. Kindly allow me to address you via audio. Jimmy Wanjigi has been criticizing President Ruto. However, his criticism has always been policy driven. He has been talking about the economy, public debt, high taxes, and also mentioning corruption or unimaginable rise of costs, especially in mega projects like SGR. Going into 2027, everyone expected that his criticism would definitely sharpen and become more damaging to President Ruto. Stay here, I reveal to you what is happening. Hear me out. There is a change in his voice, in his utterances. He is approaching President Ruto in a well-calculated move as we approach 2026 and 2027. I have to play this clip where you will understand that Jimmy Wanjigi is becoming so soft to President Ruto. But before I play it, there is something I want to talk about. In politics, there is something called political corruption. This is how this political corruption works. In this strategy, a dominant group or regime incorporates potential threats, bringing critics, opposition figures, or social movements to your side. Offer them incentives or power. This, in most cases, neutralizes their opposition, emasculates their influence, or alternatively, you gain their support and win the hearts of their supporters or followers. Importantly, when you win key figures that oppose you, you bring them into decision making or give rewards. Eventually, you'll have their support. It's a legitimate way to gain control. It is a way to manage dissent subtly rather than through direct repression. You absorb challengers into the system. And when you do that, you'll have it easy. And that is what President Ruto is good at. So President Ruto is deploying political corruption. And the question is, has this dragnet called Jimmy Wanjigi? Just listen to him first.
I want to ask my president, because he's our president, and he did a very good job. Let's give him a clap. He contributed a lot of money for this cathedral. He has started an agenda which is very good. He has brought what is called agenda politics. Agenda politics. Yani, the politics of the issues of each and every one of us. Na anasema, in the future, tutaona first world. Sindio? And those are good dreams. In the future, tutaona Singapore. Very good dreams. The other day, alisema, kuna wengine hata barabara zao kwa kwenda nyumbani, angalia kwa internet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Listen, this is strategic. First of all, he recognized that the president is William Ruto. By just saying, my president, in itself, it is an admission that he is humbling himself before President Ruto. He is not there to viciously criticize him, but he is there to humble and perhaps go soft and softer on President Ruto as we walk into 2026 and 2027. And that should inform you that moving forward, things are likely to change. It will not be the usual narrative where you criticize. Instead, you'd say this president is pushing agenda politics, ideological politics. And that is what I have been advocating for many years. And because we are now aligning, I find it comfortable and convenient to endorse him for 2027. So meaning Safina Party, where Jimmy Wanjigi is the party leader, will finally be co-opted into Kenya Kwanza or any outfit President Ruto and his principals will form ahead of 2027. In the corridors of power, Jimmy Wanjigi and Ruto at some point must have worked together, because I've always said this: there is too much that happens behind the scenes, and the real politics is played behind the scenes. What you see outside here is not the real politics. The political figures plan, and usually they don't plan in public, they plan in boardrooms. And you should know this. Before Jimmy Wanjigi comes out to say what he has just said, it means a lot has been going on. And President Ruto must be working on something to ensure that Jimmy Wanjigi is part and parcel of his 2027 political principles. However, I understand Safina Deputy Party Leader Willis Otieno criticizes President Ruto every day. We've seen that on Twitter. But to some point, that can be just a strategy, because before you get into a working relationship with President Ruto, you definitely have to find a way to make your case so strong outside here, win hearts and all that. So don't see it this way, that because Willis Otieno and others under Safina are criticizing President Ruto, and that means that they will never work with President Ruto. We've had one of the worst and worst political enemies working together. So Safina Party and Jimmy Wanjigi supporting President Ruto is not something out of the ordinary. It is something that can definitely happen. I know Jimmy Wanjigi has been arrested not once but many times, and Willis Otieno, his lawyer, has always been there, and he says that the government has been arresting Jimmy Wanjigi because he fights for the people. And I want you to listen to Willis Otieno, who is also Jimmy Wanjigi's lawyer and deputy party leader of Safina Party, saying that
Jimmy Wanjigi has been educating the public on our economy and the issue of public debt. He will not stop. You can take him to any court you want. You can decide to do whatever you want to do to him. But his voice to say the problem of this country is the economy, and William Ruto is unable to deal with economic problems in this country, will not stop. He will keep saying it. And that is the ultimate truth. No amount of persecution, no amount of intimidation, no amount of harassment, no amount of ignoring court orders will make Mr. Wanjigi to stop from speaking his truth, which is the truth of the pain that all Kenyans are feeling in their homes at the moment.
Jimmy Wanjigi is not Kenya's best economist, by the way. Is he even an economist? But anyway, let's put that aside. What I know is that, to be honest, Jimmy Wanjigi really understands what is happening in Kenya's economy. He's a businessman, and he understands how the government operates, and he must have been part and parcel of the government behind the scenes. So when he talks about Eurobond, when he talks about SGR, when he talks about the pain Kenyans, are feeling because of an economy that is not working for the majority, that kind of message resonates with many Kenyans. And he has been doing this not because he truly loves Kenyans and he wants the best for Kenyans and all that. He was just political, and he was angling himself in a way he can be spotted by the political elite or by those in government, and this is working well for him, because in politics what is also important is you knowing how do you handle your political communication, how do you handle your messaging. If you handle it so well, you'll find yourself landing a deal or working with those in government. After all, everyone wants to work with those in government or to work with the government, especially in a country like Kenya where politics is the currency. Everything is political. Power is sweet, and power lies in the hands of those in government. Even in the United States, we saw Elon Musk working with the Trump administration. I know he left, but he's still close to the government despite their ex-beef, the exchange between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. So back here in Kenya, Jimmy Wanjigi could also be looking for a way to get back into government. After all, what do you have to do first? Win the hearts of Kenyans through messaging, through telling them their economic pain, reminding them, you are feeling this economic pain because of ABCD. So with that, you find yourself being loved by the public, and because already you've gained influence, those in government will feel that you are the right person to work with, so we can co-opt you into our government so that you can have a voice now to tell the people that what I've been telling you is something that really matters. And now that I am working with those in government, it means we are going to address your issues. So I talking on radio, TV, and any other platform was critical. It opened your eyes. But now the real action is in government. So I am getting into government so that I handle or I address the things I've been mentioning to you while inside. And that's how it works. So Jimmy Wanjigi and many others, including Donald Kipkorir, the guy who truly and viciously opposed President Ruto ahead of 2022 politics. I am not talking of 2027 but 2022. Donald Kipkorir supported Raila, and because of that he had to do whatever possible to oppose President Ruto, despite him coming from Elgeyo Marakwet, President Ruto's political bedrock. So expect this political corruption to continue. For sure, this is a great political strategy. If it works well for President Ruto, then it is good for him. After all, politics is about planning, politics is about strategizing and winning hearts of even those who opposed you. So there is nothing wrong with President Ruto deploying this strategy to win support even from those who opposed him so viciously. So what do you think of President Ruto working with Jimmy Wanjigi and many others who opposed him? Keep it here on Owen Raw Podcast for more. Bye bye.